But few people have the discipline to keep it off, even in the supportive atmosphere of Weight Watchers. And that, scientists say, is what makes America's weight problem so very serious. It's an issue, I realize, that totally eclipses my own quest to lose weight.
This is the public health issue of our generation. You see, 65% of Americans are overweight or obese.
You're an inspiration to everyone in this room, so thank you.
If you look at our ancestors, what they desired more than anything else was to have a constant source of food that was good tasting and inexpensive and to not have to work very hard. And in fact, if you fast forward to today, that's the environment we've got. Everywhere you go in America, it's okay to have food. It's okay to have food in your car. It's okay to eat at your desk. What's amazing is that people can actually live in this environment and not become obese.
We're seeing an epidemic of obesity that is occurring so rapidly that the Centers for Disease Control can track it from year to year and does so on those beautiful maps on its website.
Since 1985, the CDC has been tracking the fattening of America. Just look at what's happened to us. Obesity rates rising year by year, state by state, unchecked by diet fads or government food pyramids. And now it's spreading to the rest of the world. Do you notice in England that people are getting bigger or not?
No question about it. It's now talked about on a daily basis. They always go, well, we're not as big as the Americans, and I say, well, incorrect. You are now very close. And when are you going to wake up? And when we talk in a minute about weight and about diet, it is time we talk more and more about educating our children in nutrition. Because and unless the government really take it seriously, they are going to have a monster problem in years to come. The healthcare bills, the hospitals, there's just... Where is this generation going to go?
Fergie has a point. Even if you're not worried about the size of your own belly, you have to worry about the fate of your children and grandchildren.
Remember this room? Oh, sure.
Dr. David Ludwig runs an obesity clinic in Boston for overweight children, like Bill.
One of the things we worry most about is something called type 2 diabetes. And we're seeing this in teenagers. We never saw this before.
What we're seeing in kids is astonishing. Type 2 diabetes, which is a devastating disease that traditionally has developed in overweight people who are in their 50s and 60s and 70s. We're seeing it in 14-year-olds. We have no idea what that's going to do to the lifespan of a 14-year-old. We're seeing the beginnings of heart disease in 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds.
Rose badly wants to avoid this fate for her 10-year-old daughter, Ayana.
And hello again. Tell me what's concerned you about her weight.
Is concern about her weight is like if she's going with that weight, she's gonna be having all kind of problem,
There was a projection published last summer by the CDC that suggested that for a child born in the year 2000, they faced a 50% lifetime risk of developing diabetes. So that means that 1 child in 2 over their lifetime would become diabetic. And diabetes is a very, very serious disease. It is associated with cardiovascular risk, with blindness, with amputation, with renal failure.
A little dark skin around here.
So it will definitely overwhelm our healthcare system.
You know how your mom and dad are a little bit heavy? Well, you might have gotten that tendency from them. But genes aren't the whole story. How do we know that? In America, everybody is much heavier than we were 30 years ago. But our genes haven't changed. Tell me what you usually have for lunch.
Sometimes I make them a sandwich. They don't want it. They just bring it back the same way they bring it.
So what do you eat?
I usually buy ice cream or cookies.
That could be lunch. But you're probably hungry, get hungry in the afternoon. What do you have in the afternoon?
Cookie. And they eat and have some milk.
All right, then what's for dinner?
Rice chicken.
Okay.
But she doesn't like it. Sometimes she doesn't eat it.
Do you eat any vegetables?
I give her the vegetables. She eat not much.
Not much vegetables. All
please.
The schools aren't doing much better.
Thank you, sir.
At this middle school, there are a few supposedly healthy lunch choices, but most kids go for the artery-clogging pizza and hunger-inducing chips.
The food industry has invested many tens of billions of dollars in making their products more attractive, more sweet, more salty, more sexy, more seductive in every way that they can. And we're vulnerable to that promotion, and we are eating more.
And they do that not only through advertising and marketing, but also by enormous efforts to change the social environment so that it is now socially acceptable for children to drink soft drinks in school and all day long, and for people to snack all day long and eat food in larger and larger portions.
And it's not just how much junk food kids eat, it's how little they move. It's a different world from the one I grew up in 45 years ago.